drive home.
Jonathan Antoine, a name once whispered with awe across Britain after his soul-stirring performance on Britain's Got Talent, has since drifted into the shadows, leaving fans around the globe wondering what happened to the boy with the voice of an angel. At just 17, Jonathan became a household name, his operatic prowess redefining expectations and his chubby, shy demeanor making him instantly relatable to millions. Yet after his iconic duet with Charlotte Jaconelli and a whirlwind of fame, it seemed as though he vanished from the public eye without a trace. Was it a fallout with his singing partner? Did fame become too much to bear? Or was there something even more complex unfolding behind the curtains of stardom? Rumors swirled, whispers of secret projects, emotional breakdowns, and even darker theories fueled speculation. And while Charlotte took her own separate path in show business, fans couldn't shake the feeling that Jonathan's silence carried deeper weight. What started as a dream for this Essex-born prodigy quickly unraveled into a story layered with personal demons, artistic reinvention, and a battle to reclaim his voice, not just on stage but in life. This is not just a catch-up tale about where he is now. This is a raw journey through the rise, retreat, and resurgence of a voice that once brought an entire nation to tears. And what's coming next might just surprise you. Born on January 13, 1995, in the serene town of Goodmayes, Essex, Jonathan Frederick Antoine grew up surrounded by love, discipline, and modest dreams. His father, a committed police inspector named John, and his nurturing mother Tracy, instilled values of resilience and humility in him and his sister. Even as a child, Jonathan's creative instincts stood out. His hands were always busy sketching imaginative worlds or jotting down stories that transported readers far beyond suburban England. Initially, he envisioned himself as a writer, someone who would craft literary fantasies rather than step onto global stages. But fate intervened. At the age of 11, Jonathan began singing lessons, a decision that altered the course of his life entirely. Teachers and family quickly noticed something divine in his voice, a resonance and richness that betrayed his years. This quiet boy, often misunderstood and picked on for his size, had a gift that could move souls. While his peers chased footballs and fads, Jonathan immersed himself in music, earning accolades early on. As his talent matured, so did the whispers about his future. Still, no one, not even Jonathan himself, could have predicted just how far his voice would take him. He wasn't just preparing for a career. Unknowingly, he was training to become a beacon of hope for anyone who's ever been told they weren't enough. Jonathan's ascent into the public consciousness wasn't accidental. It was the result of meticulous cultivation of raw talent. His tenor voice bloomed during adolescence, stunning judges and audiences at the Stratford and East London Music Festival, where he clinched the prestigious Young Musician of the Year award. Suddenly, his name was being whispered within elite musical circles. All four junior departments of London's most esteemed conservatoire extended invitations, an unprecedented moment for any teenager, let alone one from a quiet suburb. Jonathan chose to enroll at the Junior Royal Academy of Music, training under Sarah Reynolds, a renowned vocal coach who saw in him not just potential but destiny. Under her guidance, he didn't just sing, he communicated. His voice became a vessel of emotion, stirring even the most hardened hearts. Every performance added another layer to his growing legend. Yet, behind the applause, Jonathan remained introverted and self-critical, still navigating the dual realities of being an emerging public figure and a teenager grappling with weight, insecurity, and a sense of otherness. But music gave him structure, a safe space where he wasn't judged for his size or social awkwardness, but celebrated for his soul. And little did he know, a stage much bigger than the Academy's was waiting just around the corner. The year was 2012, and Britain's Got Talent was searching for its next breakout star. When Jonathan Antoine walked onto that stage with his partner Charlotte Jaconelli, nerves were thick in the air. He was visibly uncomfortable, his body language uncertain, but the moment he opened his mouth, silence fell, jaws dropped, and history was made. Their duet of The Prayer stunned the audience into standing ovations and brought Judge Simon Cowell, known for his unflinching critique, to the edge of emotion. That performance wasn't just good, it was transcendental. Suddenly, Jonathan became the show's unlikely hero, the anti-pop star with a divine voice. Though they didn't win the final prize, what came next was even more impactful. Simon Cowell signed them to his label Seco, offering a staggering £1 million record deal. Headlines exploded. Interviews followed. Jonathan and Charlotte were no longer students, they were rising stars, but fame, while glittering, comes with shadows. The spotlight intensified scrutiny, especially on Jonathan's appearance. Online forums buzzed with cruel comments about his weight, even even as his voice captivated hearts. It became a tug-of-war between soaring success and suffocating self-image. Still, the duo powered forward, unaware that their fairy tale was already on a collision course with reality. Their first album, aptly titled Together, debuted to roaring success. Fans adored their harmony, his powerful tenor layered against her lyrical soprano. It wasn't just music, it was a story of connection, triumph, and resilience. Songs from the album charted swiftly, echoing across concert halls and living rooms alike. They were no longer just contestants, they were ambassadors of a new classical pop fusion. Their follow-up, Perhaps Love, delved even deeper into emotional territory. Each track felt like a confession, a window into their artistic chemistry and individual growth. Tours followed, as did TV appearances, award nominations, and even talks of international stardom. But as the music soared, so did underlying tensions. Whispers began to surface. Were they drifting apart? Had the pressure become too much? Fans sensed a shift. Their interactions seemed rehearsed, distant, and behind the scenes, Jonathan was struggling, internally battling anxiety, health issues, and the increasing pressure to conform to industry expectations. The duo had become more than just musicians. They were symbols, and symbols, unfortunately, aren't allowed to break. Just when the momentum of Jonathan and Charlotte's partnership was reaching its crescendo, the world was blindsided by news that left fans reeling. The duo was going their separate ways. It wasn't a quiet fade-out. It was a sharp and sudden break that sparked a tidal wave of speculation. Had their professional synergy crumbled under personal conflict? Was it jealousy, creative differences, or simply the crushing weight of expectation? As soon as Sony Classical extended solo deals to both of them, the headlines exploded with unconfirmed theories. Some believed Charlotte had grown tired of being overshadowed by Jonathan's voice, while others claimed Jonathan needed to retreat to rediscover himself outside of the duet label. Conspiracy theories flooded social media. There were accusations of behind-the-scenes feuds, clashing egos, or even unspoken romantic tension gone sour. But none of these narratives were ever confirmed. Instead, what was clear was that Jonathan, for all his talent, had been silently battling not just career fatigue, but also profound emotional challenges. The pressure of carrying so much public attention at such a young age, paired with the personal demands of navigating adolescence and body image, left him emotionally threadbare. Fans didn't just mourn the loss of a beloved duo, they worried for the gentle soul behind the angelic voice. Would Jonathan Antoine continue to rise, or had the fire that once lit up Britain's Got Talent finally flickered out? Then, just as the speculation reached fever pitch, Jonathan and Charlotte released a joint statement that stunned everyone, not with drama, but with grace. "We've had the most exciting journey together," they wrote, reminiscing about their first meeting at West Hatch High School in 2006 and reflecting on how far they had come from schoolmates to runners-up on one of the biggest talent shows in the world, selling over 250,000 records in the process. There was no bitterness, no feud, no scandal. Instead, it was about evolution, about two young artists growing in different directions and being offered the chance to pursue their own paths. Sony Classical's offer for solo albums was, for both of them, a dream come true. For Jonathan, it meant the freedom to explore his own voice without compromise, to craft his own sound without the pressure of being part of a pair. And yet, even with the truth out, not all questions were answered. Behind the scenes, Jonathan was still fighting silent battles, emotional ones that had haunted him for years. The professional split may have been amicable, but emotionally, it was uncharted territory. For someone who had built his entire identity around singing alongside Charlotte, stepping onto a stage alone was as terrifying as it was liberating. But Jonathan knew one thing: if he didn't take that leap now, he might never reclaim his story. And so, with equal parts fear and determination, he began writing the next chapter of his life. After parting ways with Charlotte, Jonathan wasted no time. He released his debut solo album Tenor, a bold title, a proud statement, and an emotional declaration of selfhood. It soared to number 13 on the UK charts and claimed the top spot on the classical music rankings. It wasn't just a musical success, it was a personal victory. His voice, still rich and thunderous, now carried something deeper, a sense of maturity, resilience, and quiet defiance. With his second album Believe, Jonathan continued his momentum, even as it charted lower overall. But it wasn't about numbers anymore, it was about narrative, and that narrative led him overseas. In September 2018, he made his US solo concert debut at the Thousand Oaks Civic Arts Plaza in California, an event that marked his arrival on the international international stage as a force to be reckoned with. Since then, he has graced stages across Canada and the UK, each performance adding more depth and texture to his evolving legacy. Audiences began to see not just the opera prodigy from BGT, but an artist with vision, emotional clarity, and enduring passion. Still, Jonathan remained grounded, often retreating between tours to refine his craft, study new material, and rediscover what singing truly meant to him. For a man who had once been thrust into fame, he was now choosing the spotlight on his own terms. Away from the glitter of stage lights and the pressure of sold-out concerts, Jonathan Antoine has carved out a quieter, more authentic life just outside of London. He continues vocal training with his trusted instructor Joy Mammon, never settling for complacency, always seeking growth. At home, he built a recording studio, a creative sanctuary where he writes, experiments, and records at his own pace. But his talent isn't limited to singing. He has ventured into voice acting for video game projects, expanding his reach and challenging himself in new artistic realms. His presence on YouTube remains strong, with hundreds of millions of views, yet Jonathan doesn't chase the algorithm. Instead, he engages sincerely, never taking his fanbase for granted. Despite having once been mocked for his looks, he has emerged as a gentle icon of self-acceptance, drawing fans to classical music who would otherwise never have touched it. And while the world knows the performer, it's in his personal space, working late in his studio, sipping tea while refining a lyric, reading in solitude, that the heart of Jonathan Antoine truly beats. He's no longer just a story of what happened after BGT. He's become a testament to how art can heal, empower, and transform. Today, Jonathan Antoine stands not only as one of the most memorable voices ever to grace Britain's Got Talent, but as a quiet revolutionary in the world of classical music. With an estimated net worth of $4 million, he has turned childhood dreams into a sustainable, thriving career. But what sets Jonathan apart isn't the money, the chart rankings, or the viral videos. It's the vulnerability he brings to every note, every lyric, every appearance. He has become a symbol of resilience, showing the world that talent can, and should, exist beyond physical appearances and media-defined perfection. He didn't just open doors in the industry, he shattered ceilings. His story has inspired countless others facing their own battles with anxiety, bullying, body image, and self-worth. And for fans who once feared he had disappeared for good, Jonathan Antoine remains very much present, living proof that fame doesn't have to consume you, that talent can evolve without losing its soul, and that the best comebacks are born not from rage or revenge, but from quiet perseverance and love for the craft. In a world hungry for authenticity, Jonathan offers a rare and beautiful voice, one that after all these years is still worth listening to. This video is created for educational and entertainment purposes only. Some of the information presented is based on publicly available sources, interviews, and online reports. Speculations or opinions discussed in the video are clearly labeled as such and should not be interpreted as factual claims. We respect the privacy and integrity of all individuals mentioned and encourage viewers to approach sensitive topics with empathy and understanding. If Jonathan Antoine's story inspired you or gave you a new perspective, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update about your favorite artists and untold stories. What do you think about Jonathan's journey? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. And remember, every voice matters, even yours.